Mark, you were in Vegas last week. You had some fun. You went to WrestleMania. You enjoyed yourself. You celebrated the big 5-0, but you also played some golf there, didn't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got to play the three best golf courses in all of Las Vegas. I got to play Cascada, which is out in the desert, now operated by our friends at the Cabot Group. So our friends, Cabot Cliffs, Cabot Links, Cabot Citrus, etc. They've taken over the management of Cascada. I got to play Shadow Creek, which I'm sure everybody's very familiar with. But I want to give a shout out to Scott Cowan, because Scott is a Canadian, fellow Torontonian, and he is running the show at the Wynn Golf Club, gentlemen, right on Las Vegas Boulevard. And I want to highlight the Wynn, not only because of our Canadian fellow Canadian patriot down there running the show at the Wynn Golf Club, but how unique this experience is. You are literally playing golf on the Las Vegas Boulevard. I was blown away. We're gonna put up a reel in the next few days, Skulls. I'll send a collab. We'll do it for Golf Talk Canada. You're literally, it looks like you can reach out and touch the sphere. It is unbelievable. All the casinos are around you. It is like this little sliver of an oasis in perfect conditions with, the waterfalls, amazing collection of par threes, extremely interesting hole layout. Like, there's not a boring hole out there. Of course, your typical Wynn 5-star service. If anybody's ever been to the Wynn before, or the Wynn Casino, it's the best hotel on the Strip. And of course, the golf course picks up that experience from the time you arrive to the time you leave. But I just couldn't get over how unique it was. I've played golf, guys, in a lot of settings before in my life, right? I've played in the desert, in the middle of nowhere that looks like the desert. I've played in, Shadow Creek, where it's looks like Pinehurst was dropped in the desert. I've, Old Head and Kinsale, Ireland. Like, we've all been around the world playing golf in some really unique locations. There's nothing else like the Wynn experience. I mean, it's really hard to describe. The sphere, I think, really adds to the experience as well. I know that sounds crazy maybe to just hear that, but there's so much going on, and there's so much catching the eye. There's so much bling, for lack of a better term. There's bling everywhere, right? And it's pretty awesome. And the golf course itself is absolutely fantastic. But, I mean, there's so much eye candy, sensory overload. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So if it wasn't on your radar, Wynn Golf, it should be. And I love the fact that you also don't have to fight Las Vegas traffic for 40 minutes to get there and back. It's literally, it's literally right there. And it was a blast. Bob, have you been on property? They've hosted a lot of made-for-TV matches and whatnot in recent years.
Yeah, I've played all three of those golf courses several times, actually. I used to go down and some tourism people used to take us down, and they had the writer's green jacket, which was like a master's jacket, except it was, of course, Vegas, so it was all sequins, sequin green. and the one thing I remember about playing at the Wynn was I was sitting there trying to figure out where to go on this one hole, and the caddy I had said, just aim it at that big picture of Donnie and Marie, which was right on a building across the street, essentially. Like you say, it's like you're playing in the Strip. And, of course, that's the old DI, the old Desert Inn golf course. It's a totally different golf course, but that used to be a big stop on the PGA Tour. That tournament was won by Stan Leonard, Canadian for many years. And I love the other two golf courses as well. There's really an underrated golf destination. I don't think people have as much knowledge of how good the golf courses are down there, but the Wynn is a great place to stay and a fun golf course. It's a little tight, but for guys like us who don't hit it, or for guys like me who don't hit it very far, you can't get into too much trouble.
To your point, Bob, and the heritage and the lineage, the actual site itself, not the golf course, because you said it's been completely rebuilt since then, but I mean, it goes back to Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. This is where the Rat Pack played golf. It's just so cool. And if you want to also support Canadians abroad, Scott's doing a great job there.
And the beverage cart first started at the DI. It was when Dean Martin and those guys used to go out. They wanted to have a drink every 2 or 3 holes, so they just manufactured this golf cart, put some booze on the back of it, and just basically followed them around the entire way. So credit to those guys for starting something that's now caught on around the world.
There's always something every week on the show that I learn, and that is that right there. That's where the beverage cart was originated. Guys, I haven't been to Vegas before. I guess now thinking about it, did the WM for my bachelor party, went to Nashville for my 30th. So this sounds like a road trip opportunity. Mark, what do you think?
I think it's a must, and Taylor would love it as well. I don't know if Taylor's been.
She's actually flying to Vegas right now as we speak for work.
Oh, you're kidding? Okay.
Yeah, right now.
It is also, it's a great guys trip destination for obvious reasons, but it's also a great couples destination because there's so much now in Vegas. So you've got this 5-star golf that we've outlined, but you've got shows. You've got headliners. There's always a headliner in town, whether it's, the Eagles at the Sphere or whatever, comedy clubs. And maybe the most underrated eating city in the world. When you think of great eating cities, you think of Paris, Rome, Chicago, New York, etc. I would put Las Vegas up there now with those cities as the greatest eating city in the world. I mean, we hit Prime Steakhouse. We hit Carbone's. I need to hit a treadmill, okay?
I was just going to say, and now you've also got the Las Vegas Vegas hockey team. You're going to have a baseball team coming in, football team. I mean, you got all that. You don't even have to gamble, and you can have a great time in Vegas.
Although I did win $2,400 playing blackjack, guys. Let's just throw that out there right now.
Well, that's what we wanted to hear the whole time. We don't care how you play golf. We want to know what you won. No, good on you, Mark.
Put it this way. The golf course beat me, but I beat the blackjack table. So there we go.
They giveth and they taketh right there. Well done, Mark. And looking forward to getting to Vegas at some point here in my lifetime.